ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Context. Questions. When I'm able to see everything as divine, I have already crossed practicing objectivity a lot. Seeing divine everywhere means I have practiced objectivity to a large extent. Yeah. Does it mean objectivity or practicing objectivity is a term not just restricted to advanced seekers, but also can be used by the beginners and intermediate seekers? Because two things. Objectivity is not something that can be introduced or asked to practice at a higher level all of a sudden. Beginners need foundational practices to develop objectivity in relatable, practical ways to gradually build confidence and familiarity for the depth of understanding and application to evolve. Second, objectivity has often been misunderstood as impartial observer, witnessing and living at Nididhyasana meditation level. Question, does objectivity be practiced by beginners and intermediate seekers also? Answer. Does objectivity has to be practiced by everybody? The answer is yes. You have to practice. Practice doesn't mean it's going to be perfect and you will be successful. Practice doesn't mean you will be able to do it perfectly. Practice doesn't mean it will be successful. But nevertheless, you have to make an attempt. And there are no gradations of objectivity. Objectivity is one and the same. Objectivity means you tell yourself that once in a while, what's happening around you, I have nothing to do with it. Once in a while, when I see a fight in the street, how would you watch it? You'll just stand apart and watch it like that. Watch what is happening inside of you once in a while. Obviously, you cannot do it. You'll get involved. You will forget all that is understood. But practice of objectivity has to be done at all levels. You follow? And there are no levels. Beginner must do this, intermediate person must do this, advanced student must do this. No, there are no levels in objectivity like that. Second, Nididhyasana is not meditation. I repeat it again. Nididhyasana is not meditation. Nididhyasana again is a practice of attributing the attributes of Brahman to yourself. That is called Nididhyasana. Again, I repeat. What is Nididhyasana? What all you call as qualities of Brahman, you say it is me. Brahman is all pervading. What is Nididhyasana? I am all pervading. I am all pervading. Brahman is limitless. What is Nididhyasana? I am limitless. So instead of Brahman, you replace it with I. Obviously, when you replace it with I, you understand that you are not, the I doesn't mean the body, the mind, the intellect. It's very clear there, because you cannot say the body, mind, intellect is all pervading. Because body is not even chair pervading. Body is not even room pervading. How can it be all pervading? You follow? Mind and intellect has a form. That which has a form has a boundary. That which has a boundary cannot be all pervading. So you cannot have a form and be all pervading also. Are you able to follow? You cannot have a form and still say I am all pervading. No, form and all pervading cannot go together. So what is Nididhyasana practice? Nididhyasana is not meditation. Finally, meditation means sound silence. Remember that. Meditation means the awareness of sound and silence. Other than that, there is no practice of meditation that is said. Therefore, what should not be practiced at all? Meditation. Nididhyasana, once in a while you can practice, because the Nididhyasana practice once in a while will trigger manana a lot. Even the Nididhyasana practice is not because we have attained the Nididhyasana state. It will trigger reflection a lot, manana a lot. Are you able to follow? So what should be done? Nitya Naimittika karma has to be done. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampat must be done. Kamya karma, if done, immediately you have to do a prasita karma for that and neutralize the effect of that. These are all that has to be done. Once in a while, you can't do Nitya Naimittika karma once in a while. Nitya Naimittika karma has to be done. That should become your lifestyle. If it is not becoming your lifestyle, make it your lifestyle. Are you able to follow? But sir, if I am doing only my obligatory duties, where do I have time for other things? Now, what is the other things that you will have in life other than Nitya Naimittika karma? Are you able to follow? Therefore, it's very, very clear what should be done. Nitya Naimittika karma has to be done. Nishiddha karma should not be done. Kamya karma you will do because of the force of the vasanas. Kamya karma you will do, and whenever you do a kamya karma, immediately pay the price for it. If you pay the price for kamya karma, next time you will know the price that you have to pay. You will be careful. These are all the things that should be done. Are you able to follow? Second thing that should be done is sadhana chatushtaya sampat, whatever be it, viveka, vairagya, etc. Viveka, vairagya, etc. That should be done all the time. Bhakti, surrender has to be done, must be done all the time. Are you able to follow? Nididhyasana once in a while. Meditation, never ever. Because a person who has risen to the level of meditation will not ask this question. The very fact that the person is asking this question means not to the level of, why can't I try meditation once in a while? Why can't I be aware once in a while? Aware of what? Why can't I just be in the space of being aware for a while, sir? Yeah, it's American language. Don't speak that language. Yeah, don't speak that American language. Speak proper language. Yeah, drama. Yeah, once in a while I should be. Once in a while I just want to be aware. I want to be in that space of seeing everything. What are you seeing? You are only imagining, sir. You will only end up hallucinating. Are you able to follow? Objectivity must be practiced. What is objectivity that has to be practiced? We are going to see. That's why we are talking about so many angles to objectivity that can be seen as a practice. You follow? This is answering the first clarification. The second clarification. Question number 2 is, if all are laws and all are Brahman, why should one strive to become sattvic and then trans-sattvic, selfless? Why is a being punished despite making faithful use of the existing intellect when what he has, what comes out? Why is only the subject asked to be dharmic and focus on oneself, leaving the object as it is, as if non-existent? Question என்ன கேக்குறாங்க? சும்மா எங்களையே change. You are saying change, correct. Why don't you tell the other also to? Why don't you tell the other also to change? Why don't you correct the other also? You are only teaching me that I am not a chicken. I am a human being. Did you tell the... You are teaching me that I am the worm. I am not the worm. I am a human being. I am not the worm. I am a human being. But not even once you taught to the chicken that I am not a worm. Now, what is education? Go back. Are you able to follow? If all are law implies Dvaitam. Law implies the world in which you are in. All are Brahman is Advaitam. Where there is no law, there is no nothing. Again, I repeat. Law belongs to the realm of Dvaitam, the world, creation. Law comes in only in relation to the creation. When you say Sarvam Kaluvidam Brahma, there is no law there, there is nothing there. That is why I said when we did this Yogaratova, Bogaratova, only the enlightened person is Vidhi Nisheda. Only the enlightened person is given Vidhi Nisheda. Vidhi Nisheda means even the Vedas are scared to prescribe rules to such a person. Imagine Vedas are getting scared to prescribe rules to such a person. Are you able to follow? That person is above law, and the goal for all of us is to get to that point one day. In order to get to that point one day, we need to obey the law. Are you able to understand the distinction? If all are laws, Dvaitam. If you say all are Brahman, there is no law there. Carefully follow. If you say all are Brahman, all the laws are erased. If you say all are Brahman, creation is absurd. Creation looks absurd. Again, I repeat. If you say all are Brahman, creation is absurd. Because Brahman splits itself into two. The deer and the lion. How absurd it is. If you say all are God, that God splits itself into two. The deer and the lion. How? What madness it is. What's insane it is. Are you able to follow? So when you say all are Brahman, we talk from the standpoint of Advayam, non-two. Are you able to follow the difference in level? When you say all are Brahman, it is Advayam, non-two. When you talk about the law, it implies there is two. The two means the creation, you, the world, etc. In Panchadashi, very beautiful book, one of the very introductory textbook to Vedanta is Panchadashi. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, இதெல்லாம் படிச்ச பிரயோஜனமே இல்லை. விவேக சூடாமணி, பஞ்சதசி, ஆத்மபோத, பஜகோவிந்தம், வேதாந்த ட்ரீட்டிஸ், அதுதான் கோர்ஸ்ல இருக்கணும். That would have been a better thing, because Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, it just goes. Now, Bhagavad Gita starting point is Nitya Naimittika Karma. Kamya Karma Allah, straight away he is saying no there. Now, a person who is a victim of Kamya Karma, not even having an understanding of Nitya Naimittika Karma, what Upanishad can do? Yeah. அதனால தான் உபனிஷதெல்லாம் is kept for fundraising retreat. KVN, நாராயண்ஜி, உபனிஷத் is kept for fundraising retreatக்கு தான் அது. வேற எதுக்கும் பிரயோஜனம் கிடையாது அதெல்லாம். There is this beautiful book called Panchadashi. Vidyaranya writes a book. In that Panchadashi, Vidyaranya divides Dvaita Viveka. He calls it as Dvaita Viveka. In the Dvaita Viveka itself, he divides creation into two. One is the creation of the macro. Another is which the micro creates. Are you able to follow the two types of creation? One is the macro creation. Macro creation means the entire creation. Another is the micro creation. Micro creation means what the individual creates. Macro creation is never a problem because it functions according to the law Vishwarupa Darshana it is. In macro creation, there is no problem at all. Yeah, macro creation, there is no problem. It knows if 3 years of rain wonder, 2 years of drought is necessary. The macro creation functions according to the law. Are you able to follow? Therefore, we don't worry about the macro creation talk at all. So whenever we talk about the law, we talk about the law at the micro creation. Micro creation means what? The individual, the jiva creates something. What are we talking about here? We are talking about macro creation or micro creation. In all our classrooms, are we talking about macro creation or micro creation? Macro creation is functioning according to the law anyway. There is a totality that makes sure that the law functions. There is a totality that there is functioning there. Macro law is never a problem. Are you able to follow? Okay. In order to understand macro law very effectively, remember this. Something, no, I keep forgetting the name. I don't see all that. I keep forgetting. Where you are monitored all the time. CCTV, from morning till evening, what all you do in the house, what all conversation you have, all that is monitored. No, what is it? The game path, that's a game going on. Season. Big boss. Big boss. Big boss, you are monitored, correct? Big boss doesn't monitor in the bathroom, no? Does Big Boss monitor in the bathroom? No, they will not monitor. Chitragupta, the real monitor, will monitor you. The real monitor, Chitragupta, is monitoring you even in the bathroom. Means 24/7, you have no escape. So as a jiva, micro creation, as a micro jiva, you can create something. The laws will function there. When the law functions there effectively, the micro gets very irritated. Are you able to follow the answer now? The micro gets very irritated. What is the irritation? Why should I be subject to law and I need to change when the other remains the same? For which the answer is, as a micro srishti, as the jiva srishti is what causes you your mental pain and agony. The jiva srishti. Are you able to follow? Vidyaranya uses two words, beautiful words he uses. For macro, he calls it as Ishvara Srishti. For jiva, for micro, he calls it as Jiva Srishti. Again, I repeat, Ishvara Srishti is the total. Jiva Srishti is the micro. Are you able to understand the difference between the two? There are these two creations. Now, in the Ishvara Srishti, the law functions very effectively without any choice. The lion doesn't have a choice. The deer doesn't have a choice. They all have to obey the law. The rose plant has no choice. The neem tree also has no choice. They have to obey the law. The macro srishti, the Ishvara srishti is very clear. So there is an harmony there. There is an harmony there. Are you able to follow till now? What is Jiva srishti? Human being alone has a unique, distinct faculty. While rest cannot create anything other than obeying the law, the Jiva Srishti alone can do something which can violate the law. Are you able to follow? Because the Jiva Srishti alone has the possibility of violating the law, who has to be taught? Who has to be taught? The Jiva, the individual has to be taught. Are you able to follow till now? When the Jiva has to be taught individually, so every individual will be told the same message. What is the same message? You change yourself. You do your duties. You do your Nitya Naimitika karma. This is the advice that will be given to all the Jivas. Some take it, most don't take it. Some take it, most don't take it. Those who take it evolves. Those who refuse to take pay the price. Are you able to follow? Those who take evolves. Those who don't take divorce. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha madhye tishtanti rajasaha adho gachanti tamasaha. 14th chapter Bhagavad Gita. 14th chapter la romba alaga solrar. Urdhvam gachanti, urdhvamna mela poine irpaanga. Urdhvamna up growing. Madhye tishtanti rajasaha. Rajasic people will be circling. They will get up, run, Girivalam Madri. At any point you can start and you can come back to the same point. It's a circle, no. Anywhere you can start and you can end at any point. Any point, other point Gornu Tirpi. That's why it's called a circle, isn't it? That is Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha. Adho Gachanti Tamasaha. And the Tamasic people go to Adho. Tamil Adho Gadin Wanga. Adho Gachanti means you'll go to the lower realms. Therefore, because of the Jiva Srishti possibility you have, you need to become Sattvic, Transattvic. If you don't become Sattvic and Transattvic, you will be Rajasic and Tamasic. Are you able to follow? Common knowledge given to all Jivas, few take it, most don't take it. Are you able to follow the answer? The advice given is the same to everybody. Ishvara Srishti, law functions immaculately, no problem at all. Jiva Srishti has to happen after knowing the law. Again, Ishvara Srishti is in accordance with the law by default. That's why there is no chaos there. There is no chaos there. Jiva Srishti is chaotic. It means the Jiva before creating must have the law that is in place. That law is what we call as dharma, etc. I'm not going into those details. Are you able to follow the answer? Therefore, Jiva Srishti means because you have the capacity to create, you need to grow from tamas to rajas to sattva. All human beings. It's not unique only to you. It is the rule to all human beings. Few come, most few will take, most do not take, that's all. It is not to say leave the other jiva as it is. We are not saying the other jiva is right. The responsibility of changing the other jiva is not yours. That's what we are saying. Are you able to follow the difference? The responsibility of changing the other is not yours. Your responsibility is to change yourself. You don't have the responsibility of changing the other. That job is left to the Vedas. Vedas takes care of it. Are you able to follow? Therefore, we need to necessarily become from tamas to rajas to sattva to transattva. Therefore, in the transattvic state, you will understand what? Sarvam Kaluvidam Brahma. All that is seen, unseen, everything is Brahman. This is answering the second question. Ishvara Srishti, law is immaculate. I'm summarizing. Ishvara Srishti, law is immaculate. Jiva Srishti means you as an individual, what you do now. Because the Jiva is also creating, the Jiva must know the law. If the law is not known, they will go on acting according to the Tamoguna, Rajoguna and pay the price. Are you able to follow? Therefore, you need to change, need not worry about the other. This itself is a practice of objectivity. I need not worry about the other. The Lord takes care. The divine takes care. Let me take care of myself. Itself is objectivity. Itself is one practice of objectivity. Next one. With reference to practicing objectivity in relation to internal and external aspects. Could you elaborate on internal and external? How does one practice objectivity in relation to internal and external? Right. Internal means, what is internal? Your body, mind, intellect is internal. Anything other than your body, mind, intellect is external. That is the definition of internal and external. Again, I repeat. Internal means your body, mind, intellect is internal. Anything other than your body, mind, intellect is external. This is the definition of internal and external. What is practicing objectivity in relation to external? Non-judging. Non-judging is practicing objectivity in relation to external. Non-judging. Are you able to follow? In relation to external, non-judging. Please understand, it is not understanding. You understand, but you don't judge. So in relation to the external, non-judging is objectivity. Bhakti Yoga, he says, Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. Isn't it? I tell people, forget Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam and all. First start with Adveshta Eka Bhuta first. Start Adveshta with Eka Bhuta. Meaning, are you able to practice it in relation to one person first? When I'm not able to practice in relation to Adveshta Eka Bhuta first, how can I jump to Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam? Lecture kuduga nalla irukum. I can give a beautiful discourse on Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam to everybody, but I will have tremendous Dvesha. So it means what? Instead of worrying about Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, what is objectivity? I will not judge, because it is judgment that it is judging that leads to hatred. When you judge, you will develop hatred. Therefore, what is objective in relation to the external? You understand, but don't judge. You understand. Somebody is thieving. You understand thieving. Somebody is pickpocketing. You understand somebody is pocketing. Somebody is misbehaving. You understand that. It's not that you don't know, but you don't judge. So the thin line between understanding and judging is objectivity. Either in the name of you don't understand at all, that's being very dumb. If you understand, hatred comes automatically. Sir, அது இவ்வளவு தெரிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் how can we not hate, sir? When you know so much about a person, how can you not hate? So if you know, you will end up hating. In order to not have hatred, you should not know at all. No. That's being very dumb. Therefore, what is objectivity in relation to the external? You understand, but do not judge. Judge not others is a blessed word, isn't it? Judge not others, for by the same standard you will be judged. The standard which you use to judge others is the same standard by which you will be judged. Yeah. How to understand that? He amongst you who has not committed any sin cast the first stone. One sinner cannot stone another sinner. Blessed words. Yeah. If you have not, he amongst you who has not committed any sin cast the first stone. And the person who is saying it has not committed any sin. Therefore, he could have easily thrown a stone, no? What is objectivity? You understand, but you don't judge in relation to the external. Number 2, in relation to the external, to practice objectivity and not judge, gratitude must be there in abundance. Only when you have gratitude in abundance, you will understand and not judge. That's very important. That's why we talk about gratitude must be there in abundance. That's why we say, you don't say thank you once and forget it. Whole day, whole lifetime, you have to say thank you. Are you able to follow? This is all in relation to the external. What is in relation to the internal? In relation to the internal, okay, I'll put it in this way. From all that we discussed about objectivity in relation to the external, what is the formula you derived? What is the formula of objectivity that you derived from all that is said till now? Non-judgmental plus gratitude. Are you okay? Non-judgmental plus gratitude. This is the formula of objectivity in relation to the external. Is it okay till now? Everyone? Now, same formula in relation to the internal also. Same formula in relation to the internal. What is in relation to the internal? Objectivity in relation to the body means what? You don't move in extremes. You don't move in extremes. In relation to the, what is the formula of objectivity? Non-judgmental plus gratitude. Is it clear? Are you okay with the formula till now? Now the same formula has to be applied internally also. Internally means the same formula of non-judgmental plus gratitude should be applied to what now? To your body, mind, intellect. So you are practicing objectivity internally and you are practicing objectivity externally. We are going to see a lot of practices. As we go along, I'm going to discuss a lot of practices. But the formula I'm telling you now, the practices of internal, as we go along, we will see a lot of practices. Is it okay? Formula is the same. Non-judgmental plus gratitude. Am I being too critical and judgmental about myself, or I'm being grateful to my body? Either we are indulgent or we punish. Never we are grateful. Either we indulge and then I indulge and then I punish. Because of punishment, I feel I can indulge next. So we go on oscillating like that. Are you able to follow the difference? So be non-judgmental plus gratitude. Gratitude to the body. Why gratitude to the body? What does gratitude to the body means? Jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, I am able to do things. Gratitude to the body because it is housing jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Because it is housing jnanendriyas, I am able to hear the knowledge and understand the knowledge. Because of karmendriyas, I am able to do karma bhakti. Are you able to follow what is gratitude to the body? Because of karmendriyas, I am able to do karma bhakti jnanam. Because of jnanendriyas, I am able to hear, see. Yeah, this is gratitude to the body. What is gratitude to the mind? Energy comes from the mind. Therefore, I am grateful to the energy that my mind provides. What is gratitude to the intellect? That energy which is raw, intellect knows how to harness it rightly. So there is the body that is helping, there is the mind that is helping, there is the intellect that is helping. Therefore, objectivity to body, mind, intellect means what? Being non-judgmental and grateful. This is the formula. Practices as we go along, we will read. Internal practices, we will give a lot. External practices, non-judgmental and gratitude. Internal practices, only a whole lot of a list will come. Yama, Niyama, internal. The whole list of the internal things will be a lot of list for the internal objectivity. You follow? Objectivity means you discipline yourself joyfully, blissfully, willingly. That is objectivity. What is objectivity? Objectivity means you willingly, joyfully, blissfully live a disciplined life. That's not objective, because body doesn't want discipline. No, body wants to, the senses will want to indulge. The mind will want to go in all directions all by itself. Now you are making use of it effectively. When you're making use of it effectively, there will be some irritation here and there, but you are handling it rightly. This is objectivity. You follow? Is there anything else? No. Yes. Yeah. What's the clarification? She is raised. Yeah. Unmute.
Thank you. My doubt was, you are saying that you should be non-judgmental and also you should have gratitude. With reference to mind, currently I am judging others. It means I'm judging myself also. So how to be non-judgmental to one's own mind, the mind which is judging others? So at least one thing can I get to hear?
Yes. At least say something. No. I can sleep peacefully tonight. Yeah. That's what she is asking. At least say that ஒன்னாவது சொல்லுங்க. At least say one thing. For mind, for the mind to be grateful. What is it that can be practiced? be grateful to the feelings of, be grateful to the feelings of judging others. Because if it is not there, you will have such a big opinion about yourself that you are a Shankaracharya already. Isn't it? Everybody goes back thinking that they are Shankaracharyas already. These kind of emotions tells us exactly where we stand. Therefore, I am grateful to this. Instead of whipping and criticizing, I'll be grateful for what you have exposed. That's why if somebody makes you angry, you must be thankful to that person for making you angry. If that person is not there, you will think you have conquered anger. If that person didn't trigger jealous, you will think you have conquered jealous. If the other person doesn't trigger, you think you are already a Brahmagyani, isn't it? Are you able to follow the answer? Be grateful. What is gratitude? They made you aware of. They make you aware of who you are now so that you can outgrow. Are you able to follow? Again, they made you aware of who you are so that you can outgrow. That is practicing gratitude. Judgmental means somebody is irritating. No. When will you judge? When will you judge somebody? What is being judgmental? Judgmental means you are the law. You judge only when you think you are the lawmaker. Then only you will judge. If you understand that you yourself is part of the law, you will never judge. You are able to follow? Judgment happens when you think you are law. I know this is wrong. I know this is right. They should do like this. They should not do like that. That is why, to bring this change, the first discipline of Dharma, we talk as what? What is the first discipline of Dharma? What you want others to do to you, you do that to another. If you say, as I am, everybody should accept me, as I am, everybody should accept me, if I say that, automatically what should happen? I should also accept as they are. No, no, no. But then I will say, as I am, I should be accepted, but I will not accept as they are. What kind of thinking is this? You follow? An example. How to be grateful. So when somebody triggers, be grateful. That is why the ideal place for growth, we say, is the world Grihastha Ashrama. The ideal place for growth, we say, is not forest. The ideal place for you to grow is the Grihastha Ashrama, not the forest, not the jungles, not leaving everything and not leaving everything and running. Okay, you can run away. Where will you run? Where will you run? You can't run anywhere. You can run from the person, but you can't run from your mind, because wherever you go, you carry your mind, and that mind will create the same thing wherever you are. Isn't it? So what is practicing objectivity in relation to one's own mind? The triggers. Be grateful to the trigger. Try that. Try them. 10 times if you try, initially 2 times it will work. Continue. How long should I continue all these practices, sir? 1 month? 2 months? 6 months? Answer is, how long should one practice this? The answer is IDK. IDK na? Answer is IDK. Aparna, IDK na enartham? I don't know. Keep practicing. One day it will. Shipram he says very soon it will happen, Arjuna. Very soon it will happen. What is that soon? How long you are practicing? So, in relation to your own practicing gratitude is be grateful to the, instead of judging and getting frustrated at the trigger, be grateful to the trigger. In the course of conversation, Narayana, something will keep coming. In the course of conversation, let us see what all other practices comes.
Because you will not judge him because correct கூட பண்ணுவாங்க class if somebody is making misbehave பண்ணும்போது
Yes.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. The clarification that he's asking is, when somebody makes a mistake, isn't it our obligation to, isn't it our duty to correct? Isn't our duty to correct? Yes. Like a policeman. Correction can happen out of love. Correction can happen out of hatred. There are from two mental attitudes you can correct. Correction can happen from the angle of love, gratitude. Correction can happen from the angle of hatred, irritation. Now, when irritation and frustration is driving the correction, the other will only receive your irritation and frustration. The other will not receive your correction method. The other will not receive your correction method. Instead of receiving the correction method, the other will only receive your irritation and frustration. Therefore, wanting to correct itself becomes a futile effort. Definitely, if there is an obligation to correct, we have to correct. The challenge is not about correction. The challenge is what drives it. Is compassion, gratitude driving it, or anger and frustration driving it? Most of the time, correction comes out of anger and frustration. In the case of a policeman, in the case of a law person, like a policeman, aren't they correcting? They don't correct. Their presence instills a fear in you and you correct yourself. அதனால தான் உங்க சிக்னலுக்கு தாண்டி நிற்பாங்க. Policeman always stands after the signal, isn't it? Why can't they stand before the signal and tell you follow the rules properly? If they stand there and tell you follow the rules properly, nobody is going to follow. Suppose if they stand outside of the signal and they catch you next time. So the law enforcer doesn't correct you. By their presence, they bring a discipline. Are you able to follow the difference? By their presence, they bring a discipline. Supposing if I am not disciplining and I continue to violate, I will be made to pay a price to correct myself. Gradations la avanga kuda povanga. First is be aware. If I'm continue to make mistakes, I have to pay the price. Even then I don't change. I have to be put in a prison, taken away from society, so that I can understand what I have done and change myself. If the fellow doesn't change, what to do? Are you able to follow? So somewhere down the line, correction somewhere down the line, correction will happen only when it is only when it is non-judgmental, but done with affection and compassion. When I show my anger and irritation, they say, if I say with anger and frustration, are you correct? And the answer is, most of us are not. Most of us are not correct. Does it mean society should be in anarchy? That's why the society has kept a law enforcer, and that law enforcer is a job. He's paid for that. It's a paid job. He's not really interested in maintenance of the law or correction. It is a job. As far as he's concerned, he's only paying, he's only doing his job. That's very clear. Here we are talking about, in this classroom, we are talking about the inner attitude of either compassion or frustration. Do I feel sympathetic and want to correct, or I'm angry and I want to correct? That's the difference. But then the problem is, sir, if we are sympathetic, how can we correct? Only a sympathetic person can correct. That is where objectivity, sympathy and objectivity comes together. Because sympathy is an attitude, objectivity will tell you whatever is a necessary action that has to be taken, you can take it. That's where objectivity comes. So is it not correction can be done provided there is no anger and hatred towards the person. To put it in a very simple way, a person is qualified to correct when he has an understanding. Who's qualified to correct? When one has this understanding. What is understanding? Hate the sin and not the sinner. But most of us will be comfortable with the sin and we want to make a mincemeat of the sinner. So who has the capacity to correct? Again, one who has this understanding. What is understanding? Hate the sin and not the sinner. Are you able to follow? Why that person is a sinner? Why that person is the sinner? Because he didn't have proper education. Because if that person has understood if that person is properly taught what is dharma, what is right, if that person has proper education, that person will not behave like this. Therefore, you understand a sinner as one who needs correction through. A sinner is one who needs correction through education. One way of education is giving up a siksha, punishment. But samadhana veda dandatilla kadasila the punishment comes only at the. But for most of us, it starts with punishment first. That's what we are saying. Are able to follow the difference? Hate the sin and not the sinner. And that person is a sinner because that person is not having the right knowledge of dharma. What knowledge that person is not having? The dharma knowledge illa. Because of not having the law, because of not having the knowledge of dharma na law. Because he doesn't have the knowledge of law, he is a sinner. Now, in order to help him out, if I have to correct him, what I should do? I should educate him on dharma. For me to educate someone on dharma, at the university dharma B degree vainu. To educate someone on dharma, do I have to go to Oxford, Stanford University, get a degree on dharma, and I can come and teach dharma? To teach someone on dharma, I should live dharmic. When I am dharmic, yadyata charati sreshtaha. Yatyat acharati sreshtah tattateva itarajanah. Sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate anuvartate lokaha tatu anuvartate. They will follow what? Sayat pramanam kurute. What you do. Look at that verse number 21 of chapter 3. In verse number 21 of chapter 3, Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, Upamana illanga. He brings in a different Pramanam there. Sayat Pramanam Gurute, your actions becomes the Pramanam, he says. Logically, when we talk about Pratyaksha Pramanam, Anumana Pramanam, Upamana, Shabda, Arthapatti, Anupalabdi, Adalandam Pramanam, we talk. Krishna says, in the course, he says. Krishna says, I really don't understand your pramanams and all. For me, I have a different pramanam. Sayat pramanam kurute. Yadu pramanam, yadu kurute pramanam. Whatsoever you do becomes the pramanam. Abdina, how careful you must be. Huh? Everyone follow? What a tremendous responsibility it brings on the... You can't say, I will do whatever I want to, because it's a pramanam. How can you do whatever you feel like doing? If you claim to be a Sreshta, if you want to be a Sreshta and correct the other, if you want to be a Sreshta and correct the other and help the other, you need to be careful about what? What becomes the pramanam there? I tell you, I have asked so many people, what is this Kurute pramanam suddenly? Because where we have studied only Pratyaksha Anumana, Upamana, Shabda pramanam, what is he bringing in the seventh pramanam as Kurute pramanam? Forget others. In the class, how many times I have said, nobody even hears it properly. Know what to do. Yes, ayat pramanam gurute lokaha tatu. From pramanam, it becomes an authoritative source of a conviction, an authoritative source of knowledge. What you do. Therefore, you have to be extremely careful about what you do. That being extremely careful about what you do in technical language is called achara. The technical language of being extremely careful about what you do is what is called achara. And violating achara is seen as a great sin. Nowadays, it doesn't make any difference. Yeah. What do they say? Fire to frying pan. What is that? Frying pan to fire. Now, what difference? Either you are in frying pan or in fire. No, what difference does it make? There is no achara at all in any way. So either we are in frying pan or in fire. All of us have an obligation to live a life of good conduct. It's one of our nitya karma. Achara and living a life of good conduct is a nitya karma. But today what has happened? I live life the way that I want. Who are you to tell me what I should? Who are you to tell me what I should do and what I should not do? Remember the first answer, Vidyaranya. Jiva Srishti becomes utterly chaotic. There is no law at all in Jiva Srishti. Because in the Jiva Srishti, we are saying, you don't tell me what I should do. I will do. I only know my circumstances. No, sir. Only I can decide. No. If you are in my circumstance or if you are in my situation, what will you do? If you are in my shoes, what will you do? People ask me. I'll say, I exactly do what you did only. Because if I am in your shoe, I must be you. Then how can I do something different? I should do exactly what you do only. What is this question even? Are you able to follow? Living a high dharmic life is a nitya karma. We don't understand that. Living a high dharmic life is a nitya karma. You violate that nitya karma, you violate the nitya karma, there is the law. அதுக்கு தான் அங்க வச்சிருக்கிறார் இல்லையா? தட்ஸ் வை யமாய தர்மராஜாய மிருத்யவேச்ச அந்தகாயச்ச. Every day, morning, noon, and night, they say the prayer to Lord Yama. In the morning, afternoon, evening prayers, they say this prayer to Yama. Yamaya Dharmarajaya Mrityavecha Andagayacha. யாரும் பண்றதே இல்லை போல் இருக்கு. அதான் யாருக்குமே தெரியல மந்திரம். வைவஸ்வதாய காலாய சர்வபூத க்ஷயாயச்ச ஔதும்பராய தத்னாய நீலாய பரமேஷ்டினே மிருகோதராய சித்ராய சித்திரகுப்தாயவை நமக அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு உடனே அடுத்த பிரேயர் சித்திரகுப்தாயவை நமவும் நமக்கு 2 வாட்டி அவருக்கு சமாதானம் சொல்லியிருக்கணும். ஏன்னா அவர் தான் வாட்ச் பண்ணினே இருக்கிறாரு. ஈவன் இன் யுவர் டீப் ஸ்லீப் ஹி இஸ் வாட்சிங் யூ, சித்திரகுப்தா, அண்ட் ஹிஸ் அக்கவுண்டிங் நெவர் fails. ரஜினிகாந்த் படத்துல தான் சித்திரகுப்தா made a mistake, isn't it? Only in Rajinikanth movie Chitragupta made a mistake. Otherwise, Chitragupta in reality will not make a mistake even for Rajinikanth ke Chitragupta will not make a mistake. Therefore, you become very conscious. Achara. Sayat pramanam kurute lokaha tatu anuvartate. He calls it as a pramanam. Yeah. Ange people should have woken up, isn't it? Ange everybody should have woken up. He's saying it is a pramanam. What the parents do becomes a pramanam for the children. What the parents do is the pramanam for the children. So exactly they will follow. Exactly they will follow that only. Because it's a pramanam for them. Therefore, as a parent, it has to be very important to live a dharmic life. Sayat pramanam kurute. Yeah. அவர் வந்து பண்றதுதான் பிரமாணம்னு சொல்றாரு. லெக்சர் கொடுக்கறது இஸ் நாட் அ சங்கர், புரியுதா? லெக்சர் கொடுக்கறது பிரமாணம் இல்ல. வாட் இஸ் த பிரமாணம்? குருதே இஸ் த பிரமாணம். டூயிங் இட். அப்படிலாம் சொல்லாதீங்க. I will give a lecture to always remember this. Ayat pramanam kurute lokaha tat anuvartate. Kurute pramanam anuvartate. அதுதான் key words அங்க. The key words is kurute pramanam anuvartate. அதுதான் அந்த key word அங்க. மிச்சதெல்லாம் poetry. Rest of it is poetry. The 3 words is kurute pramanam anuvartate. What? Achara. Achara is discipline. Discipline is called achara. Discipline as told by the Shastras, not what you think is discipline. Again, discipline as commanded by the Shastras, not what you think is discipline. சரியா? Tremendous self-discipline is required. Tremendous self-discipline is the prerequisite to correct another. A person who lacks discipline, meaning who oneself is other-made, doesn't have he can try to correct, but that correction will not. You can try to correct, but that correction will not work. That's why it's not working. Yeah. Facebookல posting போட்டுன்னு இருக்கலாம், அவ்வளவுதான். அதுக்கு மேல nothing, no correct, nothing will happen other than that. Is it okay? We'll continue next week.